The rumble of a big bore diesel. That is a glorious sound. The gleam of chrome catching the morning sun, and the unmistakable silhouette of a Kenworth W900 stretching out over the open road. For nearly 6 decades, this truck has been more than just a workhorse. It's been a symbol of American trucking, a rolling testament to hard work, independence, and the spirit of the open highway. Since its birth in 1961, the W900 has been the trucker's truck, built for those who see the road as home. Its long-nosed conventional design, customizable sleeper cabs, and relentless durability made it a favorite among owner-operators and fleet drivers alike. Every mile driven in a W900 felt like a connection to a greater legacy, a link to those who came before, and a statement of pride to those who would follow. However, time catches up with even the most legendary machines. In 2026, Kenworth will retire the W900, closing a chapter in trucking history. Regulations, changing industry demands, and the push toward modern aerodynamics means that the era of the long-nosed conventional is coming to an end. In this video, we will explore the rich history of the W900, its impact on the trucking industry, and the reasons behind its retirement. From its rise as a trucking icon to the forces that led to its discontinuation, we'll take one final ride through the legacy of the W900. Now, before we take the final ride, please like this video and subscribe to this channel. By 1961, America's highways were alive with the thunder of diesel engines, and the trucking industry was experiencing unprecedented growth. Kenworth, already known for building premium driver-focused trucks, introduced the W900, a model that would go on to define the era. The W in W900 stood for Worthington, one of Kenworth's founders, and the truck was designed to replace the 900 series, making a new chapter in trucking history. The W900 was a game changer. It featured Kenworth's full redesign of its conventional cab since 1939, with a tilting hood for easier engine access, a long-nosed design to accommodate bigger power plants, and a stronger frame built to handle heavy loads over long distances. Alongside the W900, Kenworth also introduced the K900, later renamed the K100, a cab-over-engine model that shared the W900's doors and improved interior space. Truckers immediately recognized the W900's superior performance, and unlike many trucks of the time that were limited in power, the W900 could be fitted with engines ranging from 180 to 625 horsepower, giving drivers unmatched versatility. Kenworth offered engines from Caterpillar, Cummins, Detroit Diesel, and later Packard, ensuring that truckers could choose the best setup for their needs. The improved cooling system and durable construction meant that drivers could push their rigs harder and farther than ever before. But the W900 wasn't just about raw power, it was about pride. Kenworth introduced a level of customization that allowed truckers to turn their rigs into personal statements. Chrome stacks, polished aluminum wheels, luxury sleeper cabs, and custom paint jobs made every W900 unique. Fast forward to the 70s, it was obvious the Kenworth W900 wasn't just built to haul freight. It was built to make a statement. From the 1970s through the early 2000s, the W900 became the undisputed king of the highway, a truck that every owner-operator aspired to own. It was designed for the lone wolf trucker, the men and women who didn't just drive for a living, but lived for the open road. During these years, trucking wasn't just a job, it was a culture. At the center of it was the W900, with its unmistakable long-nosed design, high-mounted stacks, and a presence that demanded respect. While their manufacturers focused on building fuel-efficient fleet trucks, Kenworth built a truck for the individual, the driver who took pride in their rig. With powerful engine options from Caterpillar, Cummins, and Detroit Diesel, the W900 wasn't just about looks. It was built to pull the heaviest loads across the toughest terrains. And it didn't take long for Hollywood to take notice. In 1978, the W900A roared onto the screen in Convoy, with Chris Christopherson's Rubber Duck leading a defiant band of truckers against corrupt law enforcement. And suddenly, the W900 wasn't just a workhorse. It was a symbol of rebellion, freedom, and the open road. And 2 years later, in Smokey and the Bandit 2, the W900 was once again at the center of the action, cementing its place in pop culture. From movies to country songs to CB radio chatter, the W900 was everywhere. Through the 1990s and into the 2000s, Kenworth continued to refine the W900, introducing the W900-B in 1982 and the W900L in 1990. Each upgrade kept the classic styling and raw power intact, ensuring that the W900 remained the king of the highway. For decades, the Kenworth W900 symbolized power, heritage, and a time when trucking was about more than just efficiency. It was about pride. But times are changing, and the industry is moving in a new direction. Government regulations, fuel costs, and shifting fleet priorities are forcing manufacturers to rethink what a truck should be. The long-nosed design of the W900 may turn heads, but it's not winning any efficiency awards. With increasingly strict EPA emission standards, truck makers are focusing on aerodynamics and fuel savings. New technology demands more compact engine bays, making it harder to retrofit older models with compliant systems. And as a result, the classics just don't fit the mold anymore. Since the pandemic, sourcing parts has been a logistical nightmare. Legacy models like the W900 require components that are becoming harder to find and more expensive to produce. And when manufacturing headaches outweigh profitability, decisions must be made. Kenworth saw the writing on the wall. The future of trucking isn't just about muscle anymore. It's about smart technology and cost savings. Fleets are prioritizing trucks with advanced driver assistance systems, alternative fuel options, and better aerodynamics. And that's why Kenworth is rolling out next-gen models like the W990, a sleeker evolution of the W900, and the T680, built for maximum fuel efficiency. While the W900's legacy won't fade, its time in production is coming to an end. Slow but steady decline of a long-nosed classic-style truck signals a shift in the industry. Like it or not, Kenworth is moving forward, but the question remained, was there still a place for the long-nosed legend in a future ruled by efficiency? Well, the answer to the question above is no. For more than 6 decades, the Kenworth W900 has been more than just a truck. It's been a statement of power, heritage, and pride on the open road. Its long-nosed design, chrome accents, and unmistakable presence made it an icon among truckers. But as the industry evolves, even legends must make way for the future. On February 21st, 2025, Kenworth officially announced that production of the W900 would cease in 2026. The decision, while painful for loyalists, was driven by multiple factors. Increasingly strict emissions regulations, shifting market demands, and technological advancements in aerodynamics and fuel efficiency, and with the new regulations limiting engine availability, particularly for high-horsepower diesel models like the Cummins X15. Kenworth faced mounting pressure to transition to more sustainable designs. Now, this change will significantly impact both domestic and export markets. In 2026, production will be restricted to non-carb states due to compliance limitations, marking the beginning of the W900's phase-out. For trucking companies and independent operators who have relied on its durability and classic styling, this signals the end of an era. Kenworth's move mirrors the broader transformation within the trucking industry, where fuel efficiency and environmental sustainability are becoming top priorities. While the W900's retirement marks the close of a chapter, it also highlights a shift toward innovation. Now, as the final orders roll in and the last models leave the production line, one thing is certain. The W900 will never be forgotten. No matter where you stand, the truth remains. The Kenworth W900 was not just a truck, it's a legend. And while production may end, its legacy will endure in the hands of those who refuse to let it fade. Across the country, trucking companies and devoted owners are ensuring the W900 lives on. Some will preserve their rigs as polished museum pieces, a tribute to a golden era of trucking. Others will keep them on the road, unwilling to part with the raw power and the unmistakable presence of their long-nosed companion. Meanwhile, restoration shops are gearing up for an influx of W900 enthusiasts, eager to breathe new life into their machines. And these skilled craftsmen will rebuild engines, upgrade interiors, and refresh paint jobs, ensuring the W900 remains a force on the highway for decades. Some will restore them for personal collections, while others will keep them running as true workhorses, hauling freight just as they were built to do. With production ending, demand for a well-maintained W900 is already surging. The used truck market is already set to skyrocket, and finding one in good condition will only become more challenging. Owners know what they have is a piece of history, and they won't part with it easily. The W900 may no longer roll off of Kenworth's assembly line, but it will never disappear entirely. In the hands of truckers, collectors, and restorers, its spirit will endure. Some machines aren't just built for the road, they're built for a legacy, and that's exactly what W900 is. The Kenworth W900 is not just a truck. It's a legend that has ruled the highways for generations, and for many truckers, it was more than a rig, it was a trusted companion through long nights, tough hauls, and endless miles. Now, as production comes to an end, its story doesn't have to.
For any of you who drove one, do you remember the first time you got behind the wheel of a W900? The roar of the engine, the way it commanded respect on the road. Maybe it was the truck that built your career, carried your family's dreams, or made you fall in love with trucking. Whatever your story, we want to hear it. Drop a comment below and share your favorite W900 memory. Let's make sure this legend lives on. And if you love trucking content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. The road doesn't end here. Let's keep rolling on together.